Hello everyone and welcome to my channel called Demon Storytime. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, for your likes, for your comments, for your donations. All information for donation you can find down below in comments. Today we keep reading this lovely book called Grimm's Fairy Tales, and our story will be called, I think it was Sleeping Beauty, I'm not sure. Yeah, Sleeping Beauty. Long ago, a king and a queen reigned in a country far away. They waited a long time to have a child, and when the queen finally gave birth to a little girl, everyone in the land rejoiced. The proud king held a feast to celebrate. He invited all his family and nobles and friends and neighbors, and the joyful queen said, "We should invite the fairies too, so that they will always be kind and good to our little daughter." Now there were 13 fairies in the kingdom, but the king and queen had only 12 golden dishes for them to eat out of. So the royal couple decided not to invite one of the fairies because of the dishes. Come on. The big day came and the 12 fairies arrived, each with a long white wand in her hand. And after the feast was over, they gathered round the baby's cradle and each gave her a gift: goodness, beauty, intelligence, and so on, all the best things in the world. Just as 11 of the fairies had finished, a great noise was heard in the courtyard. Into the feasting hall strode the 13th fairy, with a broomstick in her hand. As she had not been invited to the feast, she was very angry. She swooped up to the cradle and cried out, "When the princess is 15, she shall be injured by a spinning wheel, spinel, and fall down dead." Oh my God. The queen collapsed into the king's arms in shock, while everyone gasped and wept and wrung their hands, and the evil fairy stormed out. Everyone had quite forgotten the 12th of the friendly fairies, who had not yet given her gift. Now she stepped forward. "I am afraid I cannot undo the evil curse," she sighed, "but perhaps I can soften it a little." And she made a magic wish that the princess would not die when the spinel injured her, only for asleep for 100 years. Great. The next day the king did what he could to save his dear child. He ordered that all the spins. Here's the evil witch and the baby. Evil witch, evil fairy, sorry. Spinning wheels in the kingdom should be burned, and so the little princess grew up without ever seeing one. She became good and clever and beautiful, and all the other wonderful things that the 11 good fairies had wished for her. Everyone who knew her loved her. On the day of the 15th birthday, the princess was walking through the palace when she came across a little door she had never noticed before. She opened it, and there was the entrance to a mysterious tower. At the top of the tower steps sat an old lady, busy at strange wheel with some thread. "Hello," said the princess, very curious. "What are you doing?" Oh, such a beautiful princess. "Spinning," said the old lady, and hummed a tune while went the wheel. "How prettily that little thing turns round," said the princess, reaching out for the spinel. "Ouch!" she cried as her fingers touched it. And while the wicked fairy, for it was she, and her spinning wheel vanished, the princess fell down in an enchanted sleep. Ay, ay, ay. Here's the lovely, beautiful princess. At that moment, the king and queen on their thrones in the great hall fell asleep too, and so did all the courtiers. The dogs slept by their feet, and so did the horses in the stables, the pigeons on the tops of the turrets, and the flies upon the walls. Are you serious? In the kitchen, the butler fell asleep while taking a drink of beer, and the cook fell asleep while turning a goose on a spit. Even the fire on the hearth stopped blazing. In the courtyard and gardens, the fountains froze, the flowers stilled, and the royal guards nodded and slept soundly. Days, weeks, and then months went past, and a large hedge of thorns soon grew round the place. Every year it became higher and thicker, till at last the palace was surrounded and hidden so that not even the roof or the chimneys could be seen. But people often told stories of the beautiful sleeping Briar Rose, for so the king's daughter was called, Briar Rose. And from time to time, Princess would find the ticket and try to break through to reach the palace. No one ever could, however, for the thorns and bushes grabbed them as if they had hands and held them fast. On the very day that 100 years had passed, the prince was riding near the thicket. Divine timing. To this astonishment, the bushes parted as he approached, to let him clamber through easily, and the sharp thorns turned into beautiful flowers as he passed them, because maybe he was the one. He came to the palace and walked through the still courtyard, the silent gardens, and the motionless halls, marveling at how everything and everyone had been frozen in time. Finally, he passed through a strange little door and came to the small tower, a room where Princess Briar Rose lay asleep on the floor for 100 years on the floor. She looked so beautiful that the prince stooped down and gave her a kiss. Naughty boy. At that moment, she opened her eyes and woke up. And how she smiled at the handsome prince before her. Doesn't matter she's older than him 100 years, right? He helped her up and together they went out into the palace, in which everyone else was walking up to, quite astonished. Over the coming days an even more splendid feast was held than at Briar Rose's birth. A feast to celebrate her marriage to the prince. And everyone lived happily ever after. Yay! I love happily ever after. Thank you so much, my dear. See you next time. Bye.